So you're thinking about moving to Ann Arbor. Have you ever wondered any of the surrounding communities in Ann Arbor, what other cities might be if you don't want to live in the city of Ann Arbor itself? Well, in this video, I want to give you my 3 top picks of Ann Arbor surrounding cities, a little bit about the real estate, a little bit more about them to see if they might be a good fit for you and your family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you are having a fantastic day. My name is Matt Talbot. This is the Living in Detroit channel. On this channel, we talk all things Southeast Michigan, Michigan as a whole, real estate, what's happening, living in, and moving to Southeast Michigan and Michigan. In this video, we're focused on the Ann Arbor community, not the city of Ann Arbor or Ann Arbor proper. We have tons of videos on that, so go ahead and check out those videos if that's what you're looking for. In this video, we want to give you some of the surrounding communities, okay? A lot of people we talk to are moving to Ann Arbor. They're moving there for work, a lot of times in the hospital system. They're working in the auto industry. Many times they're moving to work for the university. And so in this video, we want to give you some other options. Maybe you're a person that wants to be in Ann Arbor, but you want to focus on some different options for affordability reasons. Maybe you want to focus on different options just to have a different type of living and not be right in the main city. Maybe you want a little bit of commute, or maybe your partner or whoever works in a different area and you need to be more of a halfway point. We want to talk about 3 different surrounding cities in Ann Arbor so you can get some flavors of what the Ann Arbor metro, if that's a thing, is about. I think Ann Arbor is sort of its own marketplace. It's very much its own economy. It's a very interesting place here in Southeast Michigan because of a couple different factors, which we'll talk about shortly here. But because of that, Ann Arbor really does kind of have its own thing going. It sits in Washtenaw County. There's some great surrounding cities. So we want to give you a rundown of what those cities are like, a little bit about the houses there, a little bit about the statistics, things to do, all that good stuff, so you can get a better lay of the land here in Ann Arbor. Okay, number 1 on my list of the 3 top cities surrounding Ann Arbor, Michigan is also in Washtenaw County. So for those of you who don't know, Ann Arbor is in Washtenaw County. It is the staple of Washtenaw County. Washtenaw is just west of Wayne County and sits really off the I-94 corridor for the most part. You're about 40 minutes or so to Wayne County Metropolitan Airport, depending where you're coming from in Ann Arbor or the surrounding Washtenaw County areas. So this city also is in Washtenaw County. It is just west of Ann Arbor, and that city is Chelsea, Michigan, one of my favorites in Washtenaw County. Spent a lot of time there through the years for a lot of different reasons, which we'll get into in a minute. The city itself, population just under 5,500. This beautiful 25,000 acre Waterloo recreation area is literally at Chelsea's doorstep. You can experience the beauty of Michigan's unique wilderness, wildlife, and geological wonders in this protected area. Their nature enthusiasts can hike, ski, or bike miles of trails, spend sunny afternoons fishing on the many lakes, or experience the spectacle of a migrating sandhill cranes. Golfers can choose from more than 20 lush golf courses, all within 20-mile drive. Families can enjoy picnic and playgrounds at Timbertown, Pierce Park, or Veterans Park. To learn more about the natural splendor of Chelsea in the area and the various activities available, please visit our Recreation in Chelsea page. This is chelseamichigan.com. Lots of good information. So Chelsea is another one of these cities. I just got done filming another video talking about Brighton. This one's in Washtenaw County, Brighton's in Livingston County, but Chelsea is another one of these cities that has this cool downtown feel, surrounded by lots of land, lots of outdoor activities, a little bit more rural area in some areas, but also this downtown area. So I know I talk about this a lot on this channel. If you've watched a lot of my videos, that is the picture I'm trying to paint of a lot of these areas. We have these different pockets of towns, all these different cities. A lot of times there's townships that surround them, all scattered throughout Southeast Michigan here. And depending on where you need to work, what schools you want to be associated with, what areas you need to be in, where your family is, there's a million different options available to us. And that's really the point of this channel, is to show you what those options are and to give you the different flavors. So Chelsea, like I said, west of Ann Arbor, surrounded by tons of nature things happening, and a little bit more from their website, because I like this page here. Chelsea, Michigan is a thriving small town in Southeast Michigan with an abundance of shopping, dining, entertainment, and local activities. Over the years, Chelsea has evolved into a diverse community, embraced its agricultural heritage, maintaining an active manufacturing base, and cultivating a vibrant music and art scene. So there's a lot of things happening in Chelsea itself. We could deep dive into that in a second, because we're going to talk about some of the different things here. But again, lots of golf courses, lots of outdoor activities, lots of things happening downtown, which we'll talk about in a second. But up next is going to be housing statistics. Housing statistics in Chelsea, Michigan. So the average price point in Chelsea is $428,000. Days on market is 35, which is a tad higher than some of the other communities that we talk about on this channel on a regular basis. We're hovering around 30 for the most part. I think the really aggressive markets are like 25. Some of the slower markets are 40, 45. So it's still a fairly fast-paced market at 35 days on market. An average price per square foot, $233 in the city of Chelsea. So those downtown areas, they're holding their value. Again, $233. It's not on like the high end. It's not like the most affluent area. You know, some areas are upwards of $350, $400 a square foot, but it's definitely a nice area being at $233 a square foot for real estate prices. The average home builds include ranch, Cape Cods, townhouses, colonials, craftsmen's. There's also Victorians downtown as well too. I sold a really cool house in Chelsea recently, right downtown. A detached 4-car garage. Older, it was early 1900s, maybe even late 1800s. They weren't really sure. Right downtown, but you could walk, into town. There's like a local church there. You hear the church bells. It is a small town feel without a doubt in Chelsea. It's beautiful. There's a lot of other things to do as well too, which is the next portion of our article. The Chelsea Treehouse is one, which is an indoor playground, over 9,000 square feet location mostly for the kids. My personal favorite thing in Chelsea is the Purple Rose Theater, founded in 1991. So the Purple Rose Theater is awesome. Jeff Daniels, the actor, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Jeff Daniels. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Dumb and Dumber. I don't know if he'd like to lead with that's his favorite movie, but probably is because it probably made him the most money. Jeff Daniels is from Michigan, and he actually founded the Purple Rose Theater out that way. In the early 1900s, the building that houses the garage theater was a used car and bus garage owned by Jeff Daniels' grandfather. In 1989, the building was purchased and renovated by Mr. Daniels and later donated to the Purple Rose. So it's a nonprofit that was, founded and created from Jeff Daniels. There's also the Ugly Dog Distillery, which is a distillery downtown. There's a host of other places as well too. One of my favorite places in Chelsea is Smokehouse 52, which is a barbecue joint. You go in there, you get the barbecue pork sandwich with the coleslaw on top and all that stuff. Fantastic. They have awesome chicken. And do not go to Smokehouse 52 without grabbing their macaroni and cheese. It is to die for. So cool downtown feel, lots of things happening in the surrounding community. Chelsea, Michigan, my number one pick for surrounding communities outside of Ann Arbor, just west of Ann Arbor, Chelsea, Michigan. Up next is a close competitor to Chelsea in my eyes. I think the city's awesome. It's super, super sought out for a lot of different reasons. We sell a lot of real estate in this part of town without a doubt. A lot of newer construction homes in this part of town. A lot of people really focus on this area when they're selecting different towns in the Ann Arbor general area, and that's going to be Saline, Michigan. Saline has a population of 8,900, again in Washtenaw County, and they have it quoted as 10 miles from Ann Arbor. It's dangerously close to Ann Arbor. It's a super easy commute in and out of town. Michigan Ave goes right through Saline. We have a couple other videos on both Chelsea and Saline on this channel as well too, that deep dive on-site stuff. But Saline, Michigan is another awesome area in the general Ann Arbor area. Housing statistics, not crazy different from Chelsea. Average price range just under $500,000, so a little bit higher, and days on market is 56 days, so taking a little bit longer in Saline to sell than they are in Chelsea. Average price per square foot, $245, which makes sense, slightly more expensive than Chelsea because the houses are slightly more expensive. And again, the same type of small town feel, okay? So you have Ann Arbor, and then west of Ann Arbor is Chelsea, and kind of like south of Ann Arbor, south and a little bit west, is going to be Saline, Michigan, okay? So a little bit different pocket of town than Chelsea. So instead of going directly west, you go a little bit south, and this can be important for a lot of people, okay? The difference is maybe someone, works in Ann Arbor and the other partner works in Jackson, okay? Chelsea might be a little bit of a better area for you because it's more west, it's right off 94, easy to get in and out of town. Now, the reverse could be the case where maybe someone works in Adrian and the other person works in Ann Arbor. Maybe Saline's a more sought out area for you because it's a little bit more, south of Ann Arbor. You can still go to Ann Arbor, get in and out of town, but you can also head south down to a city like Tecumseh or a city like Adrian, Michigan, right? So it just depends on sort of where you're sitting, but I would say that they're sort of comparable cities, Chelsea and Saline, depending on what you're looking for. Again, housing statistics kind of show that as well too. Downtown Saline has a lot happening. A lot of festivals. Stony Lake Brewing Co. is one. So Saline, when it comes to things to do, one of the first things that pops in my head is, what did you say, Mike? The Celtic Festival. No, I'm kidding. That is in Saline as well too, as we're doing our research here. But one of the first things that pops in my mind specifically are the breweries in Saline. There's a lot of breweries throughout Southeast Michigan. There's a ton more breweries throughout the state. You start going to like Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids. It's like brewery capital of like the universe. So like beer is a big thing here in Michigan without a doubt. But definitely in a city like Saline, the two that come to mind are Salt Springs Brewery, which is a really, really cool place. It's actually an old church that they renovated into a brewery. That's like one of my favorite spots. I think it's like a staple in Saline in my opinion. And then Stony Lake Brewing Company, which has a 4.7 on Google, so highly ranked as well too, is another brewery in Saline. They also have a farmers market, which we talk quite a bit. Saline is one of the bigger farmers market, if I remember correctly. There's a lot happening at those farmers market, and again, we talk about those a lot in this channel. These small towns, for the most part, all have them, which is awesome because Michigan has a lot of farmland. Even in Southeast Michigan here, there's a lot of different farmers, there's a lot of people that are making artesian, is that right? Artesian goods, is that right? Homemade goods and bringing them to the farmers market. So I'm trying to see the days. I think it's Saturdays. Yeah, Saturday farmers market. And again, being in Chelsea or Saline, one of these areas, you're like 10, 15 minutes to Ann Arbor, right? So you're right down the street from Ann Arbor. So not only do you get the small town feel, all that type of vibe, easy in and out of town. If you want to go to, an Ann Arbor's farmer market, which is huge, or you want to go to the Ann Arbor Art Fair, or you want to go to University of Michigan football game, it's all right there as well too. So you kind of get like the best of both worlds. You get this like medium to big city of Ann Arbor right down the street, as well as a very small town feel. The general Ann Arbor metro area is fantastic. I love Ann Arbor. I love a lot of surrounding communities. That's one of the reasons why I want to make this video. We place a lot of people that are going to work at University of Michigan. We work with tons of physicians at University of Michigan, the VA, and some of the other surrounding hospitals in the Ann Arbor area. And so a lot of times those people, they don't necessarily need to live right in the center of town, but they need to be driving distance to one of the hospitals or whatever campus they're out of. And so these surrounding communities are huge. Ann Arbor, Washtenaw County is very underrated in my opinion when it comes to Southeast Michigan. Chelsea, west, Saline a little bit south of Ann Arbor. Really cool, great starting point for our top two. What is third on our list? Dexter is third on our list, coming up next. Last but not least of our top three picks of cities that surround Ann Arbor, and that's going to be Dexter, Michigan. So Dexter, similar to Chelsea, is also west. Chelsea is further west, but Dexter is actually kind of like northwest, okay? So this is a great pocket of town for people that maybe need to get in and out of Brighton, Michigan. They need to head north. Maybe it's easier for them to commute, up 23 somewhere and jump on 96. Maybe they're going over to Novi or Wixom or Milford or what have you. It's a little bit easier to get in and out from an area like Dexter than it is somewhere south like Saline, because you're gonna have to go through the city. So Ann Arbor, it's a decent sized city without a doubt. We have tons of content on this channel on Ann Arbor. It's not like the size of Detroit or anything. It's not like this massive city. However, in winter months and certain times of the year, the traffic can get a little bit hectic. So what you don't want to do ideally is kind of like, if this is Ann Arbor, I'm just like making something up. You don't obviously want to have to go all the way around the city on a consistent basis, especially if you're going far after that. So that's why I think these three cities are good target points. There's some other surrounding communities as well too, depending on price point where you're looking to go. Ypsilanti and Depot Town is one of them. It's going to be east. And again, if you got to continue to head east, maybe Ypsi is a good place for you. Ypsilanti is the full name. But for this portion of the video, Dexter, a little bit north and definitely west of Ann Arbor. Population of Dexter, 4,500, still in Washtenaw County. Gordon Hall of Dexter is said to have been a refuge for Underground Railroad. So again, these small towns, like back in the day, they were little farm towns, and it was definitely lots of rich history in these areas without a doubt. And so I think Dexter's definitely one of those. Dexter's housing statistics even higher than Saline and Chelsea, currently at almost 550. Average days on market, 41 days on market. And average price per square foot, $252 per square foot. Similar to that listing I just sold in Chelsea, I sold another one recently in Dexter. Really cool house, Victorian house, walking distance to stuff. But there's also a plethora of different options in a city like Dexter on more farmland. I have one right now. I had a meeting with a gentleman recently to list his house. It's on like 20 acres, really cool old farmhouse. That's a vibe in a city like Dexter. There is some newer constructions in all the cities that we've talked about today. Again, because it's a little bit more rural, there is availability and options for people to do newer construction builds, both on big lots as well as subdivision type feels. One of my favorite things to do, not on my list here in Dexter, is going to be roll into Pinckney, which is right there. Pinckney, we have another video and other information on this particular part of town, but Pinckney's basically part of Dexter, and it has 7 lakes that are all connected. They're really fun lakes. They're all sports lakes, a lot of partying and stuff like that out there. So I think like that's a huge benefit of being able to do the lake life in that part of town as well too. But again, you're 10-15 minutes to downtown Ann Arbor, northwestern city outside of Ann Arbor, and I think it's a great option. Some of our other things to do in Dexter, the cider mill, 137 years old, the Dexter cider mill. That's wild. Cider and donuts, huge in Michigan. Again, I might sound like a broken record if you watch a lot of these videos, because I'm always trying to like paint the picture of these cool small towns that we have. Family owned and operated the Dexter cider mill since 1886. The Dexter cider mill has been serving Dexter in the greater Ann Arbor area and our visitors for 137 years. We're the oldest continually operating cider mill in the state of Michigan, which is crazy because there's a lot of old cider mills. Really cool spot. They also have hard cider as well there too. So if you're into hard cider, that can be an option. Sometimes I do hard cider, a little sweet. My sister loves that stuff. I'm not a big fan of sweet beverages. But anyway, Dexter Cider Mill gives you a great example of something to do in a city like Dexter. The Encore Musical Theater Company has 150 students yearly. And then last but not least, I think this is a huge one, the Dexter Huron Metro Park, 122-acre park. There's a golf course, disc golf, all the outdoor activities you can ever ask for in that area. So similar to Chelsea, similar to Saline, similar to Dexter, you get these cool downtown areas. There's tons of surrounding outdoor activities to do. There's tons of golf courses. You can travel in and out of Ann Arbor. It just depends on where you want to be and why you need to be there. Family and work really matters for a lot of people, right? Where's work? Where's family? What school district do you want to be associated with? If you give us those statistics, if you kind of give us a buy box or at least some areas, we can give you a plethora of different flavors as real estate agents here in Michigan of different options to go to. So if you're thinking about moving to area, holler at us. My name is Matt Talbot. My real estate team and brokerage is Redefine Real Estate. This is the Living in Detroit channel. Thank you so much for learning more about Ann Arbor. Thank you so much for tuning into our video. Maybe one of these 3 cities could be the city you end up moving to.